are doing Lawrence games.
I'm not surprised at all. I remember when we were here for basketball talking to Coach Leipold in Allen Fieldhouse, and I said, I think the week that Alabama plays A&M and Auburn and Georgia play and Oklahoma and Texas, Tennessee and LSU, I feel like I'm going to be at the TCU Kansas game. So, you know what, I tell you, it was a surprise. And we were really excited because I think one of the things that really is special about this show is that we cover the sport in its entirety. We don't just cover whatever the perceived biggest game is between the two bluest of bloods. And Kansas has been a tremendous story in the early part of the season. So is TCU, for that matter. New coaches, one newer than the other, obviously, with Lance having been here a little while. But I think this is one of the stories of the early part of the season. It's a perfect place for us, and we look forward to the reception that we'll get. I'm sure it'll be just as good as the one we've gotten multiple times in Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah, what impresses you most about this KU football team?
I think their belief, their confidence, and the biggest thing that struck me is that early in the season when they were scoring a bunch of points, you sort of got the feeling, well, you know what? You get into a run up and down the field game with those guys, with Jalen Daniels, some of the weapons they have on the outside, they could clip you. Then they win a defensive game last week. Good teams figure out ways to win different styles of games, and that I think said as much to me. Not to be honest, not that I think Iowa State is great, but they played a certain style, and Kansas wanted a different style.
Rece, you were talking about obviously, Lance Leipold just moments ago. What has impressed you most just from the time he's been at Kansas so far?
He has a belief, an unwavering system. He's instilled, I should say, accountability in the program. I was just talking to him a few minutes ago, actually, about some of the discipline and structure that they've been able to put in this year and how that's helped players with buy-in. When you have a guy, I don't care what level you're at, you have a guy that flashes 6 national championship rings at you, you have to listen to it.
Absolutely.
And the players have been. So I think that when you see some success, it breeds confidence, and when you have some confidence, you play faster and without questions about, am I doing the right thing? What bad could happen next? You don't see any of that with Kansas right now, and I think just being able to instill that type of belief in a program that's been as downtrodden as any in the sport, for the last decade and a half, basically, is a really remarkable thing.
Thanks, Rece.
Rece, what's your early thoughts on this game?
TCU's really good. They're really fast, and I think that if Kansas is going to have a chance to win the game, they're going to need to control the ball and limit the opportunities. Now, I don't think TCU is immune to mistakes. And Kansas has shown the ability to make some big plays on defense. They'll need some, and they'll need to make TCU work the ball down the field. I reference this quote a lot because it resonates with me for some reason. When I worked with Bob Knight in basketball, and I know Kansas people love good basketball quotes, Bob always used to say, dumb loses more than smart wins. Meaning that if you give the other guy a chance to screw something up, that's going to help you more than trying to outsmart him. And so if they can make TCU run another play, TCU, I think, has 8 touchdowns of longer than 40 yards. They lead the nation in yards per play. If they can make them run another play, stop them, run another play, increase the opportunity for a mistake that can help them, that's their best chance. But both these quarterbacks are sensational. They're explosive. And I think if look, I like a good defensive game like we got in the NFL last night, but if you like the opposite of that, you're probably going to enjoy what you see in here on Saturday afternoon.
Besides the obvious, for Kansas fans, what's the difference between College GameDay basketball and College GameDay football?
I could talk for a really long time about that, but those two shows are both obviously very special to me, but in essence, they really just share a name. They're very different in a lot of ways because as much as I love the basketball show, no regular season game in basketball is as important as any game in college football because of the nature of the way the sport is constructed and trying to win championships and make the postseason. So I think there's a build-up all week to Saturday, which is highly anticipated. You get one shot at it per week. In basketball, it's a little different, so it's a more thematic-based show simply because, yes, really highly entertaining, important games that we all want to see and watch. There's another one Monday, and so that makes it a little bit different, I think, in terms of the way the shows are structured and how you approach it. Like we center, and we talk games, basketball too, but we really try to stay true to talking games and not get caught up too much in our show this time of the year anyway, talking playoff or trends or anything like that. They have to be really important to make the show. Otherwise, we want to talk the trends as it pertains to what is going to happen today. And so there's some subtle differences in that. Crowds are bigger in football too, generally speaking. I hope you guys live up to that here. I'd like to see that whole hill behind me full tomorrow. That'd be cool. I was disappointed to find that there's fall break. I hope nobody left.
I think they changed their travel plans.
Good. I hope so.
A lot of people I think changed their plans.
That's good.
So do you like being here like a first-time place, even though it's not first time for College Game Day overall, but first time for football, rather than say like Ohio State or Alabama that gets this more often?
We're treated great when we go to Columbus or when we go to Tuscaloosa, Athens, places that we've been a lot recently. They treat us great. But there is something special about being somewhere where the show hasn't been. There's an energy and the buzz and excitement. I think just the feeling of something new, not only for us, but for the people who come to the show. And we want to not only make it entertaining on television, but we want to make this an experience, so much so that people say, boy, I'm glad I didn't miss that. I'm glad I got a chance to experience that while I was in school in Kansas, and I can't wait until they come back again. That was a blast. So that's our goal every week for the show. And I think when you go to a place that hasn't experienced it, then you get a little extra energy. That can also be true places you've been before, but you haven't been in a long time. That happened at Tennessee. They hadn't been there in 6 years. They're cheering that answer. I'm just kidding. They haven't been there in 6 years. Had a great crowd. Boone, North Carolina for Appalachian State. We've never been there. It's an amazing crowd, and I expect that kind of reception here at Kansas. Good.
All right.